What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today we're gonna be showcasing how to kill Oryx, the final boss of the King's Fall raid added to Destiny 2 within Season of the Plunder, fast. And we're doing so by testing, I think, 24 different exotic and god roll legendary weapons to see which ones do the most damage to this guy, because obviously that's a key part of your success. Now, in this video, we are only going over these damage tests. We're not talking about any tactics or mechanics to kill Oryx. If you want to know how to do this encounter, check out my complete King's Fall raid guide linked up above. And so, let's get started. But really quickly, guys, I want to mention that my and so many other YouTube channels are infested with scam bots. If someone pretending to be me is claiming you want a PS5, you did not. My name is KakisHD, not Telegram me you won KakisHD, and just click their logo, it'll take you to an account with 0 subscribers, right? So don't get fooled. Unfortunately, again, YouTube has a massive problem with bots. They're making more accounts than I can ban. I'm trying to be on top of it, but again, this is a YouTube issue, just be vigilant. Alright, now let's get started here with the first group of weapons. Essentially, we have all 6 people testing the best of a certain group of weapons each time, and then we take a look at the damage numbers. The first group is linear fusion rifles. These are super meta right now, so let's go over what everyone is using. I am going to be using the Taipan 4FR. This is a new world drop weapon added this season. It's making waves, super easy to acquire through a quest, and has the triple tap firing line god roll with Viced Stinger. Now, as for the rest of the team, someone is using a god roll 4th times bait and switch Cataclysmic from Vow of the Disciple. Someone else is using the old school Reed's Regret god roll, kind of the, I guess, worst version of the Taipan, just to see. Then someone else is using a god roll Storm Chaser here. And then after that, we have someone utilizing the Sleeper Simulant, like the old school linear. And then lastly, someone is using the 1000 Voices. It's not a linear, but where else would we put this? Alright, let's move ahead to the damage phase. As you can see, it was a little bit scuffed with someone dying. Don't worry, we're going to do another test after this, but the results are what you can see on screen right now. I made this handy dandy little chart so you wouldn't have to remember who was using what weapon. I think that deserves a like, by the way. So, you can see that the Storm Chaser came out ahead with an impressive 1,420,000, 640 damage. Then the Reed's Regret was just behind that, 1,200,000 damage. I was definitely behind again because of the revive issue, but this is mainly to show that the Storm Chaser is extremely viable. But as I said, we did another much cleaner damage phase with no deaths, and here are the results from that. So I actually came out on top with 1,300,000 damage with that new Taipan. The Reed's Regret and the Storm Chaser were just behind me. As you can see right here, actually the Sleeper Simulant did a respectable amount of damage. Definitely don't use the 1000 Voices, but it seems clear that in terms of linears, the winners are going to be Reed's Regret, Taipan, or the Storm Chaser. Alright, so let's move on from there to the next weapon type, and that's going to be machine guns. These have gotten massive PvE damage buffs, doing 40% more damage to every enemy out there and 20% more damage specifically to bosses. That's on top of another buff in a previous season. I just wanted to see how hard are these things actually hitting in the current season of Plunder. Well, I'm going to be using this corrective measure time lost god roll, rewind rounds to get ammo back, plus high impact reserves, such a wombo combo. Then we got someone using the Xenophage. Then we have someone using the 7th Seraph Saw with firing line. After that, we have someone using the Thunderlord with its brand new catalyst that gives it ammo back. After that, someone is using a Grand Overture from the recent season. Someone is using an Heir Apparent. And We got to the damage phase extremely clean, only had to reload once. Like, this rewind rounds thing is pretty darn solid, but let's take a look at these numbers here. As you guys can see, definitely not even close to as good as the linear fusion rifles. However, it should be noted that Thunderlord with the catalyst broke 1,000,000 damage. Barely, but it did. So that's actually pretty impressive in terms of overall boss DPS. Certainly, though, probably shouldn't be using machine guns. However, moving on from there, we have the next weapon type, which is rocket launchers. So importantly, someone is using a Galahorn, and therefore I am going to be using this Godroll Hothead with Field Prep plus Clown cartridge, and then someone else is using a different Hothead with Field Prep plus Explosive Light. Then after that, we've got someone actually using the Wardcliff Coil. You're going to see them run up and start spamming into his chest at close range. Then we've got someone using the Eyes of Tomorrow, actually, because who knows. And then lastly, someone is using the Two-Tailed Fox. So, we did a clean damage phase, came out the other side, and as you can see, these are the results. Overall, pretty disappointing numbers. In fact, some of the machine guns outdamaged these rocket launchers. In fact, the only rocket launcher to do over 1,000,000 damage was the Explosive Light Hothead. I was close with my Clown cartridge Hothead, but still not great. However, technically, you could use like 1 Galahorn plus 5 Explosive Light Hotheads and take down Oryx, but the ammo is going to be pretty tight. These just aren't as good as linears overall. However, it's time to move on to the last weapon type we're testing, and that's going to be sniper rifles. So, I'm going to be using a weapon that I've wanted to be good for so long, the Prettieth's Revenge Time Loss version with rewind rounds plus high impact reserves. Such a wombo combo. Overall DPS output should be phenomenal. We have someone using a Secession, we have someone using an Izanagi's Burden, someone is using the Whisper of the Worm, of course with the Catalyst to increase the damage, we have someone actually using a Darcy, and then lastly we have someone using a Cloud Strike, which again, should actually be doing some decent damage. So we ran the damage phase, had a clean run, came out the other side, and here are the results. As you can see, they are pretty darn disappointing for the most part. Keep in mind, our Izanagi guy apparently screwed up a few reloads, but you can double that damage or even triple it, and it still wouldn't touch some of the other weapon types we've tested. But the one standout, as I'm sure you've noticed, is the Whisper of the Worm. That damage is essentially tying the top Storm Chaser damage that we had in the very first test. So that's actually insane, and that means the Whisper of the Worm is one of the best weapons in the game to use against Oryx. Now, ammo economy and so on might be a bit tricky. However, I should say you can put on a Whisper of the Worm and then put on something like a Secession, which as you can see did 500,000 damage, run Sniper Rifle, Finders and Scavengers, and have ammo for both in case you do run out of ammo for one. You can also do a similar thing with linear fusions, I guess, too, if you're willing to run the Arbalist or the Lorentz Driver. But these are some pretty insane results. It looks like if you are looking to kill Oryx fast, you're either going to be using one of the god tier linear heavy fusion rifles or the Whisper of the Worm. And that's really the only viable options that we've tested. Maybe there's some crazy ones that we didn't think of, but of course, you know, I couldn't test every single weapon in the game. If you guys want to see more weapons tested, leave them in the comment section down below, and perhaps we'll do a part 2 to these damage tests. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.